And I just want to say, like, huge thank you to these guys and to Sarah Clark. They were working until 3:30 in the morning on Thursday to make sure that we could file the materials on time so we can get justice for kids earlier. And they're doing this at no cost for our kids. And I just think like we always hear that lawyers get a bad name, but there's some good ones out there, and I just really want to recognize both of them. And David, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the fabulous law student, but I want to give her a shout out as well.
Oh, that was Kiana Semakari,
All
and
right.
it's always a pleasure to do this work. And we're not always that poorly organized that we're up the night before cramming. It's just that with the deadline coming right after the holidays, we had a little shorter runway than usual.
Yeah, and we also want to thank the nations who, even with that short runway, got letters to us so that their voices could be heard directly by the tribunal. That was much appreciated. And three cheers to Britt, who this is her first time swearing an affidavit, but she stepped up and she did it, and she did a great job. So Jennifer and team, I'm not sure how you want to kind of handle the questions, but we're all here and ready to answer as best we can.
I think probably the easiest way to ask for questions to come forward is to ask people to use the raise your hand function. And then we'll just try to get through as many questions as we can before 11, if that works for you, Cindy. So it looks like we have Missa with her hand up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so part of what I've been curious about like in relation to, I guess, backlogs, I don't know, my question has to do like in Manitoba, so urban areas have access to Jordan's Principle through multiple organizations like the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, Southern Chiefs Authority, or Southern Organization. So, and they've experienced such high numbers of applicants, and they have like online social media participants, people who are wanting to access services are gathering together and complaining about the lack of services that they are receiving. And I had gone in myself because my stepdaughter has we've been having problems accessing services, and then I was told that they had a high number of applicants, 5,000, and only like a handful of workers for that. So, like, is there any chance of like changing the amount of workers per like for healthier ratios to get these services implemented easier or more how do I say this, like 100 kids per worker type so that it's easier for them to provide timely services so that nobody's getting left behind, nothing's becoming insurmountable in terms of reimbursements and whatnot. Like how, like, is there a plan to increase the amount of workers for people?
Thank you so much for your question, Missy. It's an important one, and I'm sure everyone is interested to know the answer. I'd say the first thing, one thing that concerned me is why didn't the government flag these building backlogs when there was only 5 or 10 families in the queue? Why did it have to get to thousands when it's a crisis point? Like when we're doing good management at the community level, we don't wait until there's an absolute crisis to deal with it. So there needs to be a learning from this where they are monitoring backlogs and making sure they're addressing them as they build. Second of all, we want to deal with the front end, the number of requests. So that's where that presumptive approval below $500, where there's supporting letter, that's where that comes in. We'd like to get them to do that. And the third thing, you're quite right, especially with the, we want them to open up these requests and find out what kids' needs and respond to them. So it's likely that they will have to apply more personnel. But one of the things that I think about a lot is the government does complicated things quickly a lot of the time. Like I felt they did a really good job of COVID-19, like getting out the vaccines to people, getting CERB out to persons who needed income supplements. So they can do these things. They've shown us in the past. They just simply need to apply that same energy to the implementation of Jordan's Principle.
Thank you, Cindy. We'll go over to Rebecca Hackett next.
Howdy, Rebecca here from Vancouver, Jordan's Principal Service Coordinator. As I see requests coming in for basics like food, rent, clothing, I think when we first started this, there was talk about the federal government looking at changes between both them and the provincial government. So I'm wondering, are they looking at these changes as they see inflation go up? Is there going to be any changes in what's being distributed to families? Because as I could see, food is going up even higher now. So, and seeing that our food banks don't have much to give to all these organizations. We even have organizations that are coming, sending people to Jordan's Principal, reaching home organizations and outreach organizations. So I see it multiplying. I don't see any changes. So are we going to see any changes anytime soon?
Yeah, thank you for your question, Rebecca. One of the key things that we're finding is that Jordan's Principal's plugging holes in other underfunded programs, and one of them is income support for families, especially families who are in deep poverty. And one of the things that we would like to see is that the government actually makes sure that people have a basic livable income as a fundamental thing in human dignity. Now, whether they will do that in this case, I'm not sure. But it's something that we're advocating for, and we would encourage others to advocate for with both provincial and federal governments, because we've seen convincing research that when families have a basic livable income, then kids do better across a wide array of areas.
Yeah, and I see that they put a cap on 3 months of approval for food. The food inflation isn't changing, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
So I know it's not an income supplement, but then who's gonna supplement this?
And that gets back to Brittany. Brittany, pipe in here if I get this wrong. But basically, Canada can deny requests. No, we don't dispute that at all. But what Canada would have to say is that month 3, that child no longer is in need of that food. That professional letter coming in from, say, I don't know, maybe it's a teacher that says a child doesn't have enough food to learn, or a nutritionist or a nurse or a healthcare provider. The child doesn't need that, and there's no substantive equality thing, and it's not in the child's best interest to receive it. So there's certain criteria. They can't just say that after 3 months they're cutting people off. That is an example of the non-compliance that we're trying to challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Cindy. Maybe have time for one more question, just recognizing that we're at 11 o'clock and also wanting to honor everybody's time. I'm going to go over to Betty Linkslag.
Hi, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm coming from a grandmother's perspective. I have kids, I look after my grandchildren who are in care. And my daughter has a very bad addiction. She's incarcerated, and I've been adamant to keep her there until she has a treatment plan. And she needs therapeutic medical treatment. She can't just go to a standard treatment center. It doesn't work. And that's the only way that she's going to get the support she needs. I've approached Jordan's Principal that we've worked with, and they'll give us winter clothes. They'll give the kids bikes, but they will not give us the treatment support. And what I'm being told is it's being denied from ISK. It's when they put in proposals, not only for my family, but for other families, and it's been denied nationally. So I'm asking, I'm going to be writing again today to the Jordan's Principal that we work with, and I'm asking them for a denial letter from ISK. I want to see a denial letter, and from there I want to forward it on to whoever. But I want to know if this type of family services is being included.
Yeah, Betty, we would like to talk to you some more about your situation that you're confronting. There is with Jordan's principle, it is possible to get some things funded at a family level, but it has to be linked back to the child. It's one of the limitations of Jordan's principle. But I'm going to pop in the email or how to contact us, Betty, and we will do what we can to assist you, and that goes with others on the call. But we'll just put this caveat before Brittany has a heart attack, because one of the reasons we're bringing a non-compliance order is so many people are reaching out to us for help. We don't feel we can catch up. So, but we'd be very happy to continue that conversation with you.
Thank
And
you.
for others whose questions we haven't gotten to, if you want to send them, I'm not sure who they can be sent to, Jennifer, but we'd be very happy to answer those offline as well. And we
Sure.
really thank you and your team for the amazing work you do all year round and for pulling this information seminar together so quickly. Really, really appreciate it.
A huge thank you to you as well, Cindy, to you and your team and your legal team. It is always a gift to be able to sit and share space with you and to hear about the work that you're involved in and all of the advocacy that you continue to do on behalf of First Nations children. I do apologize. We're at just after 11 and need to we'll need to end our time together today. I do want to let everybody know that the recording and the slides will be available on our website. So anybody looking for that information after we end our time together, you can certainly have a look there. We will also take some time to look back through the chat and to gather up any questions that were unanswered. And then we could probably, Cindy, work alongside you and your team to get those questions answered, and then also have that Q&A available on our website as well. And so again, just really want to raise my hands to you, Cindy, and your team, and to everybody else for taking time out of your day to be part of this really important conversation, and the brilliant work that Cindy and her team continue to do to uphold and honor the spirit and intent of Jordan's principle across Turtle Island. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. And again, if you have any last minute questions that you want to pop in the chat, please do so. And I hope you take really good care, and we'll connect soon.
Thank you.